Alright, let's see. How's this working? Hello. I have it on my phone to confirm I'm seeing it. But is anybody else? Yep. Great. Love that. Love that for us. Hello. Nice. So, great. We've already lost most of our viewership. Classic the week review stream right there. So, hello. We here. Everyone should join Discord. I'm gonna post a link to Discord. Oh, hello Willow and Megan. That's nice. Enjoy your time together. Hey Phil. Am streaming. If interested. So, yes, hello. Today is Saturday, September 11th. I didn't realize it was 9/11 until I saw the headlines that are like, hey, that happened 20 years ago. Hey Julia. I remember 9/11 like most Americans. It's a weird day. To be a child in the United States of America who so hello. Great. It's just the Discord. So we're just hanging out. We just moved from the Discord over to YouTube. That's fun. Hold on. I'm trying to get a link to the Discord so that more people join the Discord from the live stream. Hello, Stieglitz. Life is doing things. I'm so over this fucking review of the Anthropocene Reviewed. Like, so in the last couple weeks, 2 video games that I was very excited for came out, and I haven't been able to play either of them because and pin message. Great. So join the Discord. So I can't play either of them because frankly, I don't have like the mental capacity to like start like a narrative that I'm interested in. Like I can watch a movie, like I can spend a couple hours with a thing, but I can't like commit to being like, hey, let's finally like Psychonauts 2. I've been excited about Psychonauts 2 for so fucking long. Like Jesus Christ. And then it just came out and I'd like missed it. And I was like, oh, I can't play it yet. I downloaded it onto my Xbox Series X and I'm like super excited to play it. And then fucking No More Heroes 3 came out. Like what? I remember playing No More Heroes on the Wii when I was in high school. Like what a fucking time to be alive. Right? So, yeah. So, but I can't fucking play either of them because I just don't have time to like commit to that because I'm too busy working on this fucking review. So I'm just like irritated, TBH, to answer the question. Has this ever happened before? No, not even close, because I've never spent even sort of this long working on a review. I have worked on I took a couple of days off because I was just like over it, but like virtually every single day for the last several months, I have written at least a little bit of this review. Like this is literally like, this is not a project that, you wonder sometimes like, how does a YouTube video take someone 4 months to make? Thank you. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate it. Um, I need to play that too. That's another fucking one that I gotta play. Um, but like, yeah, I have been working on this review like consistent. And I mean, obviously, I made an unfortunate like month-long detour fucking reviewing a goddamn t-shirt that I then decided, oh wait, this isn't appropriate to this fucking video. Like I could have been so far, so much further along if I like hadn't done the whole shirt thing. Like if I had just like kept in mind what the fucking purpose of the video was. But I just like got like the problem is I had gotten so far away. Oh hey Nat, I had gotten so far away from like writing the introduction where I explained the purpose of the video that I had forgotten why I was doing it. And that's when I wrote the YSL shirt thing, because I was like, oh, this is funny. And I think it's funny, but like, what a not great use of my time. But I like the review. I think it came out well, so I'm not like really upset about it, except in the sense that I really just wish I hadn't done that. Like I don't know. You know what I mean. But yeah, I am almost done. I'm now like for a while I was basically, you know, just sort of jumping from one to the other, like just throughout, like as I had ideas. But now I'm like committing to like, okay, we're going to finish this review and then we go to the next one and then we go to the next one and then we go to the next one. So right now I'm in the middle. My cat I actually don't even know where she is. She's somewhere. I'll like go get her at some point. I have seen Swiss Army Man. It's great. I when I went to see Swiss Army Man in the theaters, I laughed more than everyone else in the theater combined. Like, and I like don't find fart jokes funny particularly, but like that just sort of the whole like everything about that movie just totally fucking worked for me. I loved it. I really, really just loved it a whole heck of a lot. But yeah, the cat will come over at some point. Or I will go get her. That's fine too. But yeah, I'm currently finishing up my review of the High Line, which I've realized I have to shoot while walking along the High Line, which means I can't do any asides. But I have to figure out how I'm going to walk and talk for like 20 minutes or whatever, because that's like most of the like the High Line's like 20 blocks long and I walk about a block a minute. Maybe I should just do like a funny joke where I will cut myself off if I don't like finish, because it's from 14th to 34th, although it does sort of wrap around an avenue at the end there. But yeah, I have to figure that out, how that's gonna play out. Although I guess if I could just sort of sit at the end after holding at the camera the whole time would probably be kind of nice. I don't know. I'll figure it out, I guess. You know, I've mentioned elsewhere that the plan is for did he cut though? And if he didn't, like awesome. But that's the difficult part, is I can't cut. If I fuck up, I have to walk back to the start of the High Line and then just do it again. Although now when I make mistakes, like if I make a basic mistake, I don't I have to. Like I don't have a choice. Like I had written several asides and I was like, I can't do an aside if I'm literally walking the High Line. Yeah. This definitely will not be perfectly timed. Oh, hello, sir. yeah. So I've sort of gotten to the point where I no longer. Hello. She's somewhere. As I mentioned, I will like get her. Uh, thank you. No, the board that has me on it is actually really fucking cool. The one that Willow designed. Um, but we don't need to do that anymore. But yeah. Uh, yeah. So I that's the one I'm working on, which has seen so many like I cut out an entire section about the fact that I could have it if Gamergate had actually been about what they claimed it would have been. I could have started it 6 months early, with like a picture that I did not post on my website that no one was reading. Um, for example, um, I only really have like one super anticipated movie this year because I haven't really been paying attention to movie news, and that's Titan. Um, I'm like super excited for Titan. Um, Dune. I want to see Dune. And The Matrix. Yeah, those three. I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff. Like, I know that there's a lot of interesting sounding stuff from like filmmakers. The French Dispatch. I like Wes Anderson. All that. The typical stuff. The stuff that you would expect me to be excited for. I'm excited for. But yeah, I'm sort of like disconnected from a lot of things. Willow told me to see Malignant, so I'm not seeing. Oh, hi, Sebastian. I'm not calling you that anymore. Um, oh, right, Last Night in Soho. Yes. I forgot about that one. I'm super hype about that because I love Edgar Wright. Yeah, I'm going to see Malignant later this week. We almost went to see it today, but I decided to see Candyman instead, which we're going to in a few hours. Because Candyman's been out longer. So my guess is there will probably be fewer people in the theater. And so yeah, I'll probably see Malignant like midweek. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Titan a lot. The I I'm like waffling real fucking hard on whether to see the Dear Evan Hansen movie because I had originally figured like I'll, you know, and I still might see it for the sole purpose of reviewing it, sort of, and talking about adaptation because my review of Dear Evan Hansen is one of the more there's a more I don't remember how I started that sentence. Um, I mean, I don't pay for movies in the sense that I pay the like it strikes me as a movie pass movie, right? Or what I call a movie pass movie, which is, I have AMC A list. Like I'm not paying to see any one movie. I'm paying $24 a month to see as many movies as I want in theaters, or up to 3 a week, but I'm not seeing more than 3 a week anyway. So like seeing Dear Evan Hansen, even if I don't like it, oh well, it didn't cost me anything. Um, the yeah, I've heard sort of mixed things about Candyman, but I you know I'm not going in with super high expectations. Um, but I'm looking forward to it. They didn't de-age him. You should, but to the Cats example, I mean, they didn't digitally de-age him. They just used a fuck ton of makeup. He looks very awkward. Yeah, no, because it premiered at Toronto yesterday, and so the reviews are live, and they are fucking scathing. I posted one on Twitter. The Vulture review is just called "How Old is Ben Platt?" or "How Old Does Ben Platt Look in Dear Evan Hansen?" It is fucking savage. I'm just gonna read the intro to you actually because whatever, we've got time. Um, I love the music in Dear Evan Hansen, like genuinely. Um, but the story's so fucked up. It's actually my most popular video right now because of the movie. Everyone's searching for it, and I reviewed it 2.5 years ago. Okay, so nope. Jesus Christ. I'm so incompetent. Fucking kill me. Good morning, Jay. How's it going? So I'm reading. This is the intro paragraph to Nate Jones's review of Dear Evan Hansen in Vulture. In 2009, Warner Bros. Released Orphan, a horror movie about a young child who worms her way into a normal American household using perverse psychological manipulation before being revealed as an adult woman. On Thursday night, the audiences at the opening night of the 2021 Toronto International Film Festival was lucky enough to be treated to an unofficial Orphan remake. It is called Dear Evan Hansen, and it is nominally the story of a high schooler who tells a white lie that spirals out of control, but based on what's staring us in the face from the movie's very first frames, it is hard to read that plot as anything other than a grown man's elaborate scheme to distract a bunch of teenagers from the fact that he is actually twice as old as they are. And even more chillingly, he gets away with it. And to Julie's point about cats, since the film's trailer debuted last spring, much has been made of the fact that star Ben Platt, the only cast member to reprise his role from the stage, where Evan Hansen debuted to great acclaim in 2016, now appears slightly too old to convincingly play a high school senior. This is like saying that the cats in Cats look slightly more humanoid than my sister's cat, Jill. It's true, but it undersells the sense of physical revulsion just a tad. What's disturbing about Dear Evan Hansen is not just that the 27-year-old Platt is unbelievable as someone 10 years younger, it's that all the film's efforts to transform him into a plausible teenager have the reverse effect of making the character of Evan Hansen appear to be somewhere in his mid-40s. When he gets up on stage for the second act's big musical number, I wasn't sure if he was going to memorialize his dead classmate or speak on the importance of 401k matching. Which, fucking savage. Like, I will never be able to write something that good. Oh, hey, Angie, you're here. That's fun. But yeah, no, it's like, and it just keeps going. Like the rest of it just continues to be about that. It's real fucking good. I wish I could write something that good, but, I can't. It's fine. So, that's what people think. And so it's funny because my review of the stage show actually starts by me complaining about, kitty cat, come here. My review of the stage show actually starts with me, complaining about, aging, or having actors who do not look the correct age or who are not the correct age. And so it sounds, and a lot of people complained about it. It's like, well, suspension of disbelief, blah blah blah. It's on stage. Deal with it. Hey, come on, damn it! The cat walked away. And people complained about it. I fully stand by what I said, but it's funny because what that means is that everything I said about the stage play applies. Like, I probably hit virtually all of the main points about the movie that I would have wanted to in hitting this in talking about the stage play. How do you call your cat? Like, what am I supposed to say? Just over there. Yeah, Firefly is not interested. In the Timo Gianto, I think it's Gianto. I like him as a filmmaker. He's become a better filmmaker for sure. The Night Comes for Us is really good. I reviewed it. I like it a lot. Girl Like Gas Keep Gate Boss. As some of y'all know, I have that posted on my cubicle wall at work. But Train to Busan doesn't need to be remade. just straight up. There's no reason to remake it. But I actually don't love Train to Busan as much as people do, like most people do. Like I like it a lot. But having seen the director's animation, it felt you can feel the small scale of it, and honestly, I think the movie would have been better if it had a slightly bigger budget. Um or it could have been better. I don't know that it necessarily would have, but I think it could have been better. So uh the the prequel to it, Soul Station, is a much like larger movie, but it's animated. And I wish that one was live action. And I wish that Train to Busan had been animated, because not because Train to Busan would make any sense or feel just specifically justified as an animation, but because Soul Station just really felt like it should have been a live action movie, like a big scale uh, live action movie. I mean, baby talking to animals is very everywhere. Danielle talks to cats. She talks to Firefly like that, but I just don't do baby talk. This is not a thing that's part of my life. And I mean, I'm sure Ben Platt is the reason. I mean, Ben Platt's fucking performing at Madison Square Garden. The fact that he's younger than me, I feel bad. He looks older than me. Like if I shaved my face, I would look like I was like 24 or whatever. He doesn't. He looks like an old man. But Liam, what'd you think of it? But to finish my thought, so Timo Janto, he also both of them, both he and Yeon Sung Ho started off making really fucking bleak movies. Like Killers is one of the bleakest movies I've ever seen, which is Timo Janto's, I think it was 2014 movie. Hey, come here, cat. Come here. Staring at me. Ignore him. Come on. Over here. She's sitting on her cat tree. Whatever. I'll get her later. But he's 27 though, so the fact that he looks 30 is itself unfortunate for him. Oh God. Just staring at me. I would turn the camera around, but that's gonna be like a whole fucking thing, and I don't want to do that, frankly. I'm definitely not gonna baby talk. That's cute. Oh God, there's a bunch of things I didn't respond. Yeah, no, I totally get that, Liam. Good luck with that, Ray. That's exciting to just in and out. She's staring at me. You know what? I'm gonna fucking flip the camera around. So just give me a sec, and you can just see her fucking looking at me, judging me. Fucking thinks she's better than me because she's a cat doing cat things. Later, Ray. She's started being annoying. and like trying to figure out how to make her more tired. But that's whatever. We've had her for 2 weeks. Like this is, these are things that you figure out. It's fine. But yeah, so Timo Gianto has made some real fucked up movies, real bleak stuff, and so did Yeon Sung-ho. And Train to Busan was the first Yeon Sung-ho movie that did not feel completely hopeless, which is kind of funny because it has a pretty bleak ending, but it's not like, but the ending isn't bleak, isn't super like if Seoul Station is much more fucked up than Train to Busan is, and I'm curious. I would expect that any remake of Train to Busan would sort of similarly be like the least fucked up movie Timo Gianto had made. And so I think that's kind of, oh, that sounds interesting. I feel like I heard about that. And that sounds cool. I need to read more, but I can't start reading a new book because of this fucking Anthropocene reviewed review. Like I can't, like the only thing I'm doing other than watching some movies, but not even as much as I want to, is I'm reading Haikyuu, the volleyball manga. That's how I'm like, when I'm not working on the review, that's what I'm doing, is I'm reading fucking Haikyuu, which is fun. I like it, sort of. I like it well enough. I'm like 150 chapters in, or maybe more now. I don't know. There's like 427 of them. I will probably finish that before I finish writing this fucking Anthropocene reviewed review. I mean, I have to finish it. Like I've written like 18,000 words. Like, it's way too late. Like I'm way too far in the process to not finish it. But it's just like this one in particular that I've been writing, I like made it more. So all of it is super autobiographical to the point where it's basically a memoir, right? And this section started off being much more explicitly autobiographical. And then I like made it further along. And then I was like, this is so annoying. Why do I talk about myself so much? Jesus fucking Christ. So I like cut a bunch of stuff. So patrons will have a bunch of stuff to read. As I said, Werner, you weren't there. One of the things that I cut was about the time that I could have kicked off Gamergate if it had 6 months early, if it had actually been about the thing they pretended it was about. I sort of imply it, or I like imply the thing, but I don't say it specifically. In the same way as I did. I just sort of make a broader point that if you think about it through that lens, it's like, oh, that's actually about ethics and games journalism, isn't it? Because I'm reviewing the Highline, and I received my PlayStation 4 engraved with my initials in this fucking standard hotel, which overlooks the Highline. It's a good joke that I just made, and I will explain it in the video if you didn't get it already, which you probably didn't because most of you don't live in America. So yeah. No, it's like I'll read you the opening. This is the opening paragraph to the Highline review. This is, I think, the fourth or fifth introduction that I've read. Well, the thing is, so the thing about the removing the Saint Laurent shirt review. Come here. Yep, I hear you. Come here. Yeah, there we go. Come on, a little closer. Come on, no. Oh God, no. I came so close. So the problem with the Saint Laurent review, so the point of the review is to talk about the things, is basically, why does the channel exist? And why does it exist in the form that it exists in? So, I review being the 8th member of NarutoForums.com because that was sort of where I got my start on the internet in online communities. It's also where I got the username that would follow me for a long time. I review IGN's now defunct blogging platform because that was where I blogged for like 4 years. It was like the only place I wrote anything on the internet for a very long time. The Highline is related to classes I took and things I did, and it's near the Daily Beast offices. The first time I ever saw the Daily Beast offices was while walking on the Highline. For a journalism class, I talk about that. I review my smile because I'm talking about the fact that all of my videos are of me, despite the fact that I have a lot of problems with the way that I look. And all of these sort of, it's like this is why the channel is how it is. What led me to the moment, what led to, specific decisions, how I decided to do things, yada, yada. And the Saint Laurent shirt sort of fit into the bigger context of like how I view the channel now, but it didn't really fit with the original intent. It was not, obviously I didn't even know the shirt existed until after I started writing the Anthropocene Review, because I started fucking working on it in May. Like, I started working on it before the Inside review, before Inside came out. Like, I had written some initial notes. And so that has been, and so that's sort of what it is. And so there are a finite number of things I can talk about, in the sense that, like, there are only so many things that, like, no new things can happen. It's all stuff that has happened. And that's also why it's a memoir, right? Is because it's like, these are the stories of my life that make this channel exist. In a way that the shirt just didn't. Right. So, yeah, hold on a sec. But yeah, so it's going to be, so that's what the video is, right? And that's how everything. So here is what I think will be the final intro to the Highline. The loneliest person I think I've ever met is a film critic not actually named Sam. They run a small but reasonably successful news and review site and are quoted increasingly often in marketing materials on movies that you have actually heard of and may even enjoy quite a lot. And I get why they post about every new time you can see their byline in an advertisement. It's cool. It's hard to imagine not feeling cool about it, but I've always felt a little weird about the fact that they tag the project's press folks and thank them for the opportunity. Look, I understand the part that critics like myself play in the broader marketing effort, that by doing this at all, I feed into the hype cycle, and by putting a score at the end, I inevitably oversimplify my feelings about something in a way that could be thrown into the background of a trailer alongside 100 other X out of Y scores. I also know that any interactions I have with companies and their representatives happen with the express purpose of getting me to say nice things about their projects, and that if the things I say aren't super nice but sound complimentary when stripped of context, they may ask for permission to strip those words of context and advertise with them anyway. I sent that request over to my editor. I'm quite sure he told them to fuck off. He works around here, actually, or at least he did. Anyways, as much as I understand what I'm doing here. I try not to be any more of a shill than I have to be, right? And I don't mean to pick on Sam, really. Honestly, I feel more bad for them than anything. Posting a selfie on one's half birthday, fishing for compliments or congratulations is a much more efficient way to express one's deep-rooted lack of self-confidence than, say, reviewing John Green's The Anthropocene reviewed on YouTube. My life would be much easier if I could suffer on social media like a normal person. And then I talk about wanting to leave New York. And then why I don't leave New York, and then a bunch of other things. So yeah. So that's that's how that starts. And then it goes into a lot of other things. Yeah, which I mean, that relates to my whole, that relates to what I talked about in my review of In and of Itself, which is that, everything I do is just like performing my sadness, because I can't just say, hey guys, I'm sad. I have to make it into a fucking one-man show. Oh yeah, no, this review is going to be a fucking ride. The review of my smile is going to be, in particular, is going to be a lot. That's the one that requires the most content warnings, I think. Yeah, that one I've written. I've fully written, I think, 3 of them, and then 2 more are mostly written, and then a couple more just in note stages. There's other things that I want to talk about. I'm wondering if I should put in really short reviews to break up some of the longer ones. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I appreciate that. You'll see. You'll see what that review is. Yeah. No, it's I'm pretty sure I talk about suicidal ideation in that one. Obviously, I talk about body image problems. Jay and Willow have heard a section of it because they were in one of the we were doing a chat in the Discord, and so we did that, and I did that, so that was a little bit ago. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. But it's fine, whatever, right? Who cares? I just need to finish it. I just need to get it the fuck out of my life. As I've said, my goal is to finish writing it in September. And ideally have it up mid-October. I will probably do 1 or 2 other videos. Titan comes out in the US on October 1st. And I think I'm going to try to review it. I mean, I put so much of myself into fucking everything. The In and of Itself review, between the reviews of Dear Evan Hansen, where I talk about I think I talk about being suicidal in my review of Dear Evan Hansen. Talking about a bunch of things in the X and Promising Young Woman reviews, sort of alluding to things that I don't talk about and will never talk about. There is a line Just so, like, the thing is, I make a decision what I do and do not put on this, and it's not everything. I'm not like actually, whatever. It's a performance, right? The inside review, I talk about suicide, sort of like a little offhandedly, but I talk about that, and then the in and of itself review is I talk a lot about my one-man shows, which were just all about like trying to figure out my shit, like work through things, and like on some level this is like sort of a follow-up to the review of in and of itself. I think like that's sort of what I think this will track most closely to, in terms of like, it's a lot about me, but like each thing I talk about does in some way relate to the subject. So like I've made a rule for myself that every single mini review must at least mention John Green. None of them really go super deep into it, because the reality is the Anthropocene Review is a book of reviews. And like, you either like the way John Green writes or you don't. And me saying things doesn't change anything. Like, there's no real reason for me to review a book of reviews. Like, that's dumb. So, I mean, the size of the community, where the size of the community comes into it is that I feel less. So, in my review of Inside, I make this critique of the Sacco bit, and I make it from the perspective of someone on the left, but not like super far on the left. And I assumed that anyone who was I thought people who had subscribed to my channel would watch it, and I really didn't think it would do particularly well outside of that. And so I assumed that everyone would sort of know where I stood when we got to that point. I didn't think I needed to like establish my bona fides or whatever. And then a bunch of other people saw it, and they were like, getting mad at me because they thought I didn't say that I had the line, I agree with most of what the puppet says, but that's not what I'm talking about. And I removed it because I didn't think it mattered, because I didn't think the audience would be there that I had to clarify that information to. And then it turned out I did, and I was annoyed that I didn't put the line in. And I explain myself a lot less than I used to. Like I just sort of, and there's really no reason for me to think that, because most of my videos are mostly watched by people who aren't subscribers. So really there's, although I don't think that will be true. That's not true about the YSL shirt review, and I honestly don't know if it'll be true about the Anthropocene reviewed review. I don't know how many people are actually looking up reviews of that book, right? Because again, why would you review a book of reviews? But yeah, so, I mean, it's just not what it's about. Like that song is about oppression. Right. And like, but the way they do it, I think for a public that includes people who will not agree with what he's saying, I think he could have done it better. But like, that's not the point. And I just I didn't want to get too hung up on that aspect of it, because yeah, again, I just figured people knew and they didn't. And that's, and so, there are certain things when I did the thumbnail for this of me holding the cat, you know, because I was holding a cat, and there was like a couple of shots where like she's like, you know, clearly trying to get away, and like it looks like I'm holding her wrong because I am holding her wrong. And I was like, I'm not going to use any of those. I'm going to use a picture where I am clearly supporting the cat, because I don't want someone to fucking be like, oh, this guy doesn't hold cats right. He's a cat abuser. Let's like firebomb him or some shit like that, right? Like, so that's the kind of thing I think about. You know, I do think about like if this were to hit a large audience, what am I likely to get? Like, I do try to think of like what the line is, right? In the sense that like, if I were to get canceled, right, but you're supposed to support them from underneath. That's you're supposed to support anything you hold from underneath. Yep. You know, so, but yeah, so I like, you know, there's a line of like, how much do I want to sort of explain how much, right. And so, you know, like basically the thought is like, is saying this thing worth getting canceled over? not that I really think I'm going to get canceled, right? Like, but you know, I do make a decision. This is something that, you know, like how strongly do I believe this thing? Like, and so sometimes, I don't call my subscribers uggos. Julia, I think you're very cute. So's my cat, who is currently sleeping on my shoes, which makes Danielle very annoyed because she bought a lovely cat tree, and like half the time she just sleeps on my shoes. But fun fact, I photoshopped the thumbnail to remove a light switch that was bothering me because the content aware fill just makes the wall look bigger. Fun. So that is a doctored image that you saw of me holding a cat. But I haven't worn them today, so like she just right. Well, I mean, and that I've made the point before that there is only so big I would feel comfortable being, and that comes from she actually doesn't like boxes. We've learned. She did jump into a bag once, a paper bag, to be clear. Not that you can even get plastic bags anymore. But yeah, she is like super not interested in boxes. She also doesn't like treats. You know, whatever. Cats are weird. But they're cute, especially this one. She's real cute. What's interesting about this is this live stream is like, this is like back to the old ways. In a sense, like, you know, the small OG group. The last few have had more people. Not that I, you know, didn't like having other people. But it's, you know, it's funny to sort of be back to that. You know, and no one's joined the Discord, which is fine. There's only like 10 people here. But yeah, if my boss knows I have a YouTube channel, if my boss watched my review of the Anthropocene Reviewed, or if like the people who work for me saw it, like I would not be embarrassed, or I'm making sure that I wouldn't be embarrassed, right? Like I know that people who know me watch my videos sometimes, like not consistent. My mom watches my videos consistently. She's pretty much the only one who definitely does, but like other people do sometimes, right? And like I'm aware of that. So everything I put out there is something that people in my actual life will then know about me. And I do account for that. Or I do think about that when I decide what to say. I mean, if I was anonymous, if I was like a completely anonymous dude, I would probably say more things than I do. But also I'm not anonymous. So, which is one of the things I talk about in my review of the Anthropocene Reviewed. I've mentioned it sort of offhandedly before, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that. So, I don't send Christmas cards. No one cares. I don't like, the thing that I'm like getting at in that intro, like what that leads to is me talking about the fact that I like don't update social media because I don't feel like my life is interesting enough unless I have packaged it to be interesting. Like tweeting like, hey, this is what I did, this is what I ate, this is whatever, like that's not interesting, right? I think I can make my life interesting, or I can tell interesting stories from my life on YouTube or whatever. But those are also things that people have to seek out. And I mean, technically, if someone like follows you on social media, presumably they care about what you're saying, and that's why they followed you on social media. But I just don't do it. I feel weird telling people the minutia of my life. And so I just don't do it. But I definitely tell a lot of the broad strokes, in the context of videos, but the stuff I talk about in videos, oh, hello, totally fine, nothing, yeah. No, you didn't miss anything super important. Just talked about a bunch of stuff. Not many people here today, which is fine. It's the fun group. It's the fun group of fun people. I.e. basically the Discord. Which is fine. So yeah. Oh, let's see how many subscribers I've lost. Let's play that fun game. Just 2, I think. So that's fun. But yeah, point is, one of the things that I considered trying to review in this video, like when I had forgotten the mission of it, was how we respond to the question, how are you today? And the question and the decision to say, good, and you, or like I'm fine, or like, same shit, different day, or fucking whatever. I tend to say fine. Like that's because I mean that really I do think is sort of my general state is fine. You know, usually not doing better than that, sometimes worse. But I mean on the whole my life is fine. It's hard to really justifiably complain about my life, which is why I have to make YouTube videos where I do it, which is the whole. That's interesting. I wonder. Yeah, I guess the notification system I know just doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and I've had people. I had someone who backed me on Patreon, comment on a video like and be like, I didn't even know. I didn't even know like you'd been posting for the last 6 months because like you're just not because I just haven't been seeing notifications. It's like, well, I appreciate the fact that you've been backing me this entire time. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we've got that like, especially in the Northeast, it's like, the hardcore like Puritan the Puritan like, and then also just sort of the Catholic guilt thing where like everyone bottles up everything. Like no one actually says how they feel ever. And yeah, I guess I don't know if I mean, and so to the point about subscribers and notifications and whatever, every time I post a video that doesn't get seen by subscribers, this is why like people subscribing and then not watching videos is actually a net negative for me, is because YouTube accounts for what percentage of your subscribers watch any given video. So if I post a video and then 500 out of 13,000 people watch it, that YouTube's like, oh, this guy isn't actually making stuff that people want to watch. If even the subscribers don't want to watch it, why would anyone else? And so that is, and that gets to like the fundamental flaw in the week I review, because that's just like literally built into the DNA of this channel is a disconnection between every single video. And it's just, it is what it is. My videos about movies tend to do better, but also, I mean, I guess Inside is kind of a movie. But also my review of, Dear Evan Hansen is now doing well, which I guess is partially because of the movie, but mostly it's not. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, bottling up your feelings is absolutely not healthy. I guess I don't really know how different cultures, handle it. I mean, so here's the other thing. October, I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm like going to see shows, going to see, and so that is, I'm, going to sort of jump back into that. Like I'm seeing Patton Oswalt's new set, he's performing at the King's Theater in Brooklyn. I'm definitely going to review that. I'm going to see Nothing Nowhere. Going to review that. I'm seeing a show on Broadway. We'll see. I don't know that I'll review it. When I see Hadestown, I'll definitely review that, but that's yeah, no, it for sure, but it's like the initial It does. It's not like the only factor, but it definitely does affect it in the long term. Which whatever, right? It's just YouTube. If and that's why, that's why having a low. That's why ultimately having a low view count, subscriber count, or whatever is good, in the sense that, like, and I talked about this in the last one, like, this isn't even like, even my best performing videos are like nothing even sort of vaguely on the level of like, I could start a career. I could make this into a career, right? And so I don't feel any pressure to try. Like, if this video, like, if my videos were like regularly getting like 50,000 views, if I had like 100,000 subscribers, two OSS 117 films are on Mubi. That's exciting. Thank you, Sebastian, for letting me know about that. But because if I had like a large audience, I might feel compelled to try. I don't really know that I would, but I might. In a way that I definitely just fucking don't. Although I think I've mentioned this before, if I were to like get fired for whatever reason, like, I have no interest in quitting my job, but like, if I were to get fired, I would probably, in lieu of like immediately looking for a new job, I would probably start putting out regular videos again, maybe trying to do multiple a week, whatever, like make this full time for at least a few months just to see what happened. But I don't expect to get fired. So I don't think that's not like a serious concern, unless someone watches, because I really don't have a lot of mean things to say about my employer, which I don't ever name. I mentioned them a couple times in the Highline review, actually, because they come up because I made a choice 6.5 years ago, and sometimes I regret making that choice, but it's kind of too late now. Oh well. This regret's a content warning. I'm gonna get myself some more water, so I will be back in a moment. Oh God. Hold on. Yeah, I'll be back. Please chat amongst yourselves. Oh yeah, you know what's up. All right, this is not. Yep. Oh God. So you can see she's not super stoked to be doing this, but this is my cat. Her name is Firefly. She's very cute. And goodbye. We we brush her, and like really not a lot of hair comes off. I think we just need a better fucking brush. Because like this shirt, stored@theweekreview.com, this shirt is just like covered in cat hair based on that short interaction. I think we just need. I think we just need a better brush. I think the brush is the problem, and not the amount of hair that like she does or doesn't have, or whatever. Yeah, but yeah. So that's my cat. Yeah, she's a cutie pie. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not even that like I'm annoyed that I get that she gets hair on shit like that. Yeah, it happens. Like she doesn't shed as much as some cats I've had. Like the cat at my parents' house, literally like the air fucking has her hair in it, which definitely doesn't happen here. Except for right now because I'm going like this after pulling shit off. But like in general, that's not really a thing that happens. But like almost no hair comes off in the brushing process. So like something is wrong with the brush, clearly. So whatever, I'll figure it out. I'm not super worried about it in the big picture. I haven't watched the Matrix 4 trailer, and I'm not going to because I know I'm going to see it. I've heard it's cool. my general rule is I will definitely see pieces of the trailer just because it's going to show before movies that I watch in the next 3 months. But like I have a general rule that if I know I'm going to see a movie, I don't watch the trailer because I want to go in. I need to rewatch Reloaded and Revolutions. I watched Curio's very long video explaining why it's good actually, but they're good actually, but also noting that if you watch the two of them back to back as though it's one movie, it is a much better experience than if you watch them as separate entities. So I'm going to do that at some point before December. After I'm done with the Anthropocene review for sure, because that's just taking over my entire fucking life right now. But yeah, so no, I've definitely heard it's a cool trailer. So I'm looking forward to it. I people said in a thing. Well, that's good to know. Although, so the thing about trailers, because spoiling, like narratively spoiling things is not the same as spoiling moments, which, when I see a trailer, I sort of internalize certain shots and then I like look for them in the movie. And then when they happen, I'm like, oh yeah, that was in the trailer. And oftentimes trailers will show stuff from like the end of the movie. And it's like, oh, that was a cool shot. And then I'm just like waiting for the cool shot. And that kind of stuff, just like, I just think about it. And so even if the movie isn't spoiled in the sense that like, there's no context for the shot, it's just a cool shot. If I'm waiting for the shot, the experience is spoiled by that. That's the way I think about things. Like I really only watch trailers if I will sometimes watch the first trailer, or if I don't care. There are definitely times when I just don't care. Like Shang-Chi, I like actually, what I tend to do now is I'll watch like the first 30 seconds of a trailer. So I've seen the first like 30 seconds of the Halloween Kills trailer, which basically is Michael escaping. So I now know how the movie starts because I assume that is the beginning of the movie, right? And I'm like, you know what? I have no problem seeing what happens in the first act of the movie in a trailer. Like, you know, if you want to spoil like the first half of the movie for me, like whatever, it's fine. I just like, I wish there was a rule. There's like no footage from the final 40 minute or like, let's say final third of the movie. Like don't show any footage from it. If that rule was in place, I would watch every single trailer, no matter how much it's spoiled. Cause I don't like, that would be fine. It's just like, when it gets to the final third and then it's like, you know, oh, all the cool footage is from that, I just get annoyed. So yeah, so that's sort of how I think about things. I really like Shang-Chi, by the way. Had some good as hell fight scenes. And also some ones that were a little awkward, but I like the one that's outside on like the rafters and shit. What was unfortunate is I could tell that they were doing a lot of these stunts for real, but the background was fake, and so it made them look fake by virtue of the fact that most of the scene was CG. And that was like, well, that sucks for them. You know, and you know, they worked on all this like cool choreography, but like they're not actually here, and we can tell. Because the bus fight is really good. I don't think it's the best fight, because it also has some iffy green screening, especially towards the back half. Like the beginning of it's really good. And I think narratively, I think it's awesome. Like I think it really works in like setting up who the character is and setting up a lot of like things about the world and about like what's going to happen and stuff. Like I really enjoyed it. But honestly, I think there are better fights that like aren't happening in like big open things. It's just like lower key or just like two people in a room just fucking brawling. Like is the fights themselves are just like, that's just a fucking great fight scene. You know, like that's like a Hong Kong fight scene. And you know, I don't really think that you can, I don't think that there is a higher compliment than like, yeah, that could have been in a Hong Kong movie. And I would have been like, yeah, that looks right. You know? So, that's an interesting question. I liked them both for very different reasons. I depends on what you like. I think you should watch both of them. Suicide Squad. I like Suicide Squad a lot. I mean, I think that, you know, there's sort of a base level of quality that every single MCU movie has that you just don't find in other, like in DC. Like DC does not have a base level of quality. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. You know, sometimes it's in the middle, whereas like all Marvel movies are good or really good, and sometimes they're great. They're never more than that. And I don't know that I necessarily think that, like, my favorite DC movie is Birds of Prey. I love Birds of Prey, like genuinely. Shang-Chi is definitely like in my top 5 Marvel movies, probably. I think the way it fits into the broader MCU going back is fun. Like I liked it a lot. I know other people disagree with that because it kind of didn't have anything to do with it. It didn't matter for the overall narrative, but I just enjoyed it on its own terms, David Ehrlich is a great is a great critic. I really like his work. His review of Dune is brutal. But yes, no, I didn't realize that Tony Leung had never done an American movie before. Like, that's a pretty big fucking deal. Like, I mean, and also seeing Michelle Yeoh fight again is awesome. Like, I loved that. And I'm sure that there was some face replacement, for some of the things, and obviously there were definitely parts that were a stunt double, but like, yeah, I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. In a different way than I enjoyed. Like, I think the action scenes, like, I think like the big CGI action scenes in Suicide Squad might be better than the big action scenes in Shang-Chi, but like the fighting, like the hand-to-hand combat stuff, like not even close. Like, not even the same fucking universe. So no, I liked I liked that one a lot. I liked both of them, as I said. Yeah, those are my feelings on those. I got to see Malignant soon because Willow said that it's less jump scary than most James Wan movies are, and that is exciting to me. Like that just sounds like a good time, because James Wan's whole like real fucking slow. Right? Like that's really fucking annoying. I was in a short film the other day that a friend of mine made. I'm curious how it will come out. There's a lot of improvising and stuff on set, so it will be interesting to see. I don't know. We'll see how my performance was. It'll be on YouTube. Damn it, Liam! Why'd you have to bring that up? I have not seen Demon. I know that I said that I will talk about it on Patreon, but I need to finish this Anthropocene reviewed video, and I told Sebastian that I would watch System Crasher. I didn't promise to watch OSS, but I did promise to watch System Crasher. Yeah, I'm looking for. No, I don't. I think Winter Soldier's fine. I don't know. It just like I didn't love it as much as everyone else did. I think it's good. My favorite, honestly, my favorite Marvel movie is Spider-Man: Homecoming, or maybe it's Far From Home. I don't know. I just really like the Spider-Man. Yeah, maybe Far From Home, but maybe the first one. I don't know. I like them both. I saw The Protege. Speaking of Michael Keaton, I don't have Disney Plus, and I don't care enough to see them illegally. I'm not watching any of them. There's a chance that I will get my hands on the ones that Florence Pugh is in. I think that Tom Holland is a great Spider-Verse is not official MCU. I think Spider-Verse is I forgot about Spider-Verse when I was saying, yeah. Birds of Prey is my favorite live action superhero movie, but I think Spider-Verse is my favorite superhero movie, period. Um, I've never seen any Marvel TV show, like, period, in my life. Like, I didn't watch any animated shows when I was younger. I don't have any, like, the only reason I have any feelings about Spider-Man is because of the Sam Raimi movies, like, that I watched when I was a kid. Like, that was my introduction to Spider-Man as a character. I mean, other than sort of like just knowing about him in pop culture, but like, Spider-Man is the only character from, and I guess the X-Men for the same reason. Yeah, no, Tom Holland's great, and I think he makes for a great Peter Parker. And he looks like a kid, which I appreciate. Going all the way back to whatever. I got into a discussion with, so, the MCU is like completely sexless. Like, no one, like, everyone is attractive and no one fucks. I heard someone say that. I didn't, like, that wasn't my line, but like, it's kind of ridiculous how little fucking there is, considering how hot literally everyone is. And I mentioned this somewhere that, like, Awkwafina looks a lot like someone I dated from like certain angles, but this movie was not interestingly enough shot interestingly enough for it to matter. Well, Thor Ragnar. Well, that Thor fucks, you mean? Yeah, he might. But but generally speaking, like, but you don't see any of that. And yeah, no, the movies fuck. I'm talking about, like, the characters. Like, the characters don't fuck. Like, they're all sexless. But the X-Men won't be horny once they're in the MCU. I mean, obviously Deadpool fucks. But, like, will he continue to fuck now that he's owned by, now that he's actually, like, being run by Marvel? I don't fucking know. Probably, but maybe not. It's just gonna be, they just, like, don't like sex. But, I mean, but all of them are sexless, ultimately. And, I, like, could not tell what relationship they were trying to set up for Awkwafina and Shang-Chi. I don't remember Awkwafina's character's name. Katie, I think. Katie and Shang-Chi. Like, I genuinely don't know what their relationship is supposed to be at the end of it. Like, fair, kitten person. Yeah, it is so American in that sense. Yeah, completely. Like, yes. Yeah. So that's how I feel about that. Turn it down. This is the ASMR portion of our broadcast. I decided I'd do this for like 90 minutes, so we've got like 6 more minutes. Just FYI, I'm not planning on doing this for another, like, this will not be another 6-hour fucking fun fest. No offense. But yeah, no. And it's not like I really need to see a Marvel movie where people fuck, right? Like, that's not really what I'm going for. like when I say that, but at the same time, it is very weird that no one does. And like, I wish, like in Shang-Chi, it felt more like, I wish it felt like that pairing was supposed to be something that it wasn't because it was a Marvel movie. And that was annoying. Like, and that's the fucking Disney problem ultimately, is it's like they have this like specific vision of what their movies are, and like that's it. You know, and so it's like James Somerton is doing videos about them. Has done one, and then the second one is up for patrons, but I haven't watched it yet, about like, the summer of representation on Disney, and like their whole like refusal to accept like actually queer characters. But also it can't be gory violence. Like, it has to be funny violence where like people die, but like there's no blood. But Disney, like, I don't know. I guess because I haven't seen the Disney Plus shows, I can't really speak to that. I read some of the think pieces, watch some of the things about it. But yeah, I'm like there is no reason to give Disney the benefit of the doubt. Like they have done nothing to earn any faith that they're going to do better or anything much at all. Like, so yeah, it's just like they just don't do a good job. They have this like specific vision of what the world looks like, and it's very violent, but not in a gory way, and no one fucks. And if someone thinks about fucking, they go to Hulu, right? Like that's the whole thing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when Steamboat Willie goes into the public domain. I don't think they're going to be able to get I don't think they're going to extend it again, but I do think that, Steamboat Willie is very different, or is very different than like the modern day Mickey Mouse, and they will. Thank you, Liam. Take care. Enjoy playing Life is Strange, which it's what you said you were doing. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, right. Yes. Have fun. Let us know in the Discord how that is. I'm curious. Or, heard from Willow, but more perspectives. Good. Yeah, I think that's partially the argument that. Oh no, you know what it was? I watched a video about bisexuality in video games recently. That was about how your sexuality is determined based on who you have sex with, and like bisexuality as a mechanic as opposed to like a narrative device. That like, if you play the game straight, everyone is straight. If you thank you, Werner. I appreciate that. That's a good video. And but that, it's like an interesting point that, people don't just sort of get to be bisexual. Like, you're either straight or you're gay, basically, or like everyone else is gay or whatever. But they're only gay if you are. And that, more games need to just like actively be one or the other. Or actively gay really is what it needs to be. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think, they're mentioned as a good example, but like Mass Effect is sort of a weird example. Like it's okay, but not great. Although they changed it sort of as the series went on. 3 like retconned one character to make them bisexual after being straight the whole time, which is sort of like a weird thing to do, but also, I mean, whatever. I didn't play Mass Effect 3, so I don't have feelings on it because I knew that they would not be able to do the thing that I wanted them to do. Hold on a sec. I need to do something real quick, and then I know I could do this after I leave, but instead of doing that, how do I do that? Here's a question. How do I allow things, people who have a link to make them manage people and links? Editor. Great. There we go. Done. Okay. Sorry about that. Fair. This is very fun content. Interesting. I didn't play Mass Effect 3 because I played Mass Effect 2 in a very specific way that I knew that Mass Effect 3 would not account for, because like there's just no way they could have accounted for it, which is that for people who played the second game, I did not go to the Citadel at all, and so technically all of the characters who are like at the Citadel and like the people who were there who are like, hey Shepard, we hear you might be alive, are you? They don't know. I never talked to them. So like I didn't want to like turn on Mass Effect 3 and then all of a sudden everyone's like, hey Shepard, like, and I don't get the scene where it's like, oh shit, why didn't you like you didn't talk to us or whatever. Like they could have done it, but I don't think they did, and I assumed they didn't, and so I didn't play it. And then everyone was like, the ending sucks. So I felt vindicated, I guess. CJ the X. I watched his hour and a half video there. I actually don't know what their pronouns are. No, whatever. I watched CJ the X's video on Sam or Kat, Ariana Grande's character from the show I never watched on Nickelodeon. I watched the whole thing. It's a good video. The CJ the X makes good fucking videos. A bunch of people who watched, like, there's actually a lot of overlap between people who watched my Inside video and watched CJ the X's Inside video. So like I can see like, people who watched your channel also watched this, and there was a lot of overlap there, which makes sense. I started watching that one. I haven't the Jeffrey Bezos one, but I haven't finished it yet. But it's I like what I have seen of it for sure. So yeah, good suggestion. Okay, any final thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? before we all head off to the Great Blue Yonder or whatever. As I said, I am working very hard on this Anthropocene Reviewed video. It is, I think, looking at the, I liked The Green Knight a lot. I'm not going to do a review. It is possible I would have done a review were it not for this review of the Anthropocene Reviewed. I liked it a lot. I think, it took some time to like get on its wavelength, but I think when you do get on its wavelength, like, man, what a cool thing. I also don't know Arthurian legends particularly well, so honestly, I don't know that I would have a lot of useful things to say, but I did enjoy it. Watch Happiness of the Katakuris. I haven't seen either of them, but that's my recommendation regardless. Really? That's ridiculous. Thanks, Jay. You too. Take care. No, I'm going to do another one of those after I'm done writing the Anthropocene Reviewed review, because I just I can't take like a day. Cause when we do the live stream watching a movie, that's like a 7-hour day. That's like a fucking work day, from like time I start this stream to the time I like finish the post film discussion. It will be done, but it's going to be like 2 hours long, I think, maybe longer at this point. I don't know. I think I might have to start cutting more stuff just because I don't think I'm going to be able to. It needs to be done. I need to get it done, but I also can't like rush it, because if I've put this much work into it, rushing it at the end would just like make me very sad. So, this video will be unlike anything I've ever done, in a good way, and it's probably, I will almost certainly never do anything like it again, which is also a good thing. But we'll see, Julia, it will be an event. I think I'm gonna I think we'll do the thing on a Saturday. Like, we'll do the premiere on a Saturday, so that like I can just sort of sit there, watch it for 2 hours with everybody. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun though. I think it's gonna be. There are parts of it that are gonna be fun to me. Like the Highline section is going to be incredibly challenging from like a logistical perspective. But like if I pull it off, I mean, I'm gonna pull it off. I have to. And frankly, the fact that I now let myself make a couple mistakes makes it a lot easier. Because I used to just not let myself make any mistakes, and now I put up the censor bar if I say something wrong. And now that I do that, it's okay. So I can make a couple, like, I can't like completely lose my train of thought, but if I like say one word not quite right, because I once got 11 minutes into a 13-minute video, and then I like did a slight slip up and I started over. And I just don't do that anymore. That one word doesn't matter. I can just put a thing on. And for a thing like that, I think it's literally going to be, it's going to be like 15 minutes probably. So I'm going to be walking and talking into a camera for like 15 minutes, and I have to be looking at the teleprompter and also making sure I don't fucking hit anybody. Like, that's going to be like a logistical nightmare, doing that. Cause I was thinking like, oh, I could, cause I can't wear sunglasses. So I'm gonna have to figure out like what I'm going to look at the whole time. Cause I can't wear sunglasses because the teleprompter would probably reflect in my sunglasses, which would be very annoying. So that's too bad. Anyways, I'm gonna figure it out. The important thing is that this has been fun as always. And I will talk to y'all soon. Most of you are in the Discord, so I will talk to most of you fairly, sooner than later. The progress is being made on the video. I'm working on it every single day. This is like, and I think it'll be worth the wait. If you're interested in me as a person, if you're not interested in me as a person, it's going to have absolutely nothing for you. Okay. Take care, folks. Bye.